Well, boys and girls, that was a very interesting week in the LEC and a lot of good games to boot. But today we're focusing in on one game in particular, Rogue and Mad Lions, two teams battling it out for playoff spots this season, and they're both doing really good. But which team with the rookies on will win? Let's get into today's Anarchy analysis where we break down the game between these two teams. So without further ado, let's jump into the pick and ban phase for the game of Rogue and Mad Lions. We're going to start off with the bans here. LeBlanc, GP and Azir were banned out here by Rogue, and Mad ban out the Ornn, the Senna and the Aatrox. Some fairly standard bans there. I do like the LeBlanc ban, obviously to remove a lot of burst. Couple of globals removed from the Senna and GP. Aatrox very strong, kind of does leave Set open as a first pick top laner. And as a whole, it's a fairly standard draft ban. Obviously the OPs get banned by red, blue just get the fun of picking whatever. So let's jump into the first set of picks for you guys. Starting with Rogue, they pick up here the Syndra, fairly standard safe mid lane pick. Obviously can also be flexed to the bot side of the map and is very potent in terms of damage. Obviously you can set up plays with that Scatter of the Weak and then just instantly burst out targets with your ultimate. Very nice pickup. As for the response by Mad Lions, they pick up the Gragas and the Aphelios, so they go for the premier jungler and the premier bot laner that is available. Obviously Gragas is an AP jungler, so the relevance of a mid lane that's AP or top laner that's AP does fall down slightly because you do pick up the Gragas. And Aphelios is just very strong, has been since release and is very good at pumping out a lot of damage. In response to this, Rogue pick up here the Sedge and the Set. Obviously I said earlier Set was a priority pickup here because he is the top lane god at the moment, and with Aatrox out of the mix there's nothing that really can go toe to toe with the Set. And as for the Sejuani, Sedge got buffed in recent patches in 10.4 and 3 I do believe, and obviously the tank meta has returned, and Sedge is so good at engaging and just being that bulky frontliner that you have to deal with. It's kind of a good pickup to say the least. As for the response from Mad, they pick up their top laner in the Renekton, a very good duelist champion that obviously is looking to just sustain against the Set to try and stay in as long as possible, then use his E to obviously carve up the Set, heal up a load of damage, and then just continue to push out lane. Very nice champion and works quite well into this team comp that they've drafted so far. Last ban phase now, and we do see bans towards Lucian, Cassio, Rakan and Taric. Obviously target bans towards that bot side of the map of Rogue by the Mad Lions, and a couple of flex bans here in the Cassio and Lucian on Rogue side that can go into either lane. Obviously the Renekton wasn't exactly set for top lane, but you kind of figure it would be going there. However, it can be played mid, and so a Cassio could be a good flex between mid and top, so that is a nice ban there. And then Lucian, he's quite powerful in the current and there. So let's finish out this draft. We're going to start with Mad's first pick in this last phase, which is a Braum. Obviously works very well against the Syndra and Sedge, as you're able to just soak up any of the orbs that get fired in from the Scatter of the Weak. Also, Sedge can just literally hit your Unbreakable Will, and you're essentially a god, and you're probably sacrificing yourself for your team's escape. As for the two picks here by Rogue, they go for a Tristana, which is a fairly new pick, I guess you'd say. Hasn't been seen too much this season. Obviously you use your Q to get the massive attack speed and range boost, and from that you're able to just keep killing and killing. Obviously with the Mad Lions team, they do lack a bit of range. The only real range champion they've got so far is that Aphelios, and he doesn't have that much range in comparison to a Trist, who can just jump in, get in on top of a very low mobility ADC in the Aphelios. And as for the last pickup here from Rogue, they go for another champion that can help with mobility in the Nautilus. Obviously a very high engaged champion who can just literally hook onto anyone, provide a lot of CC, and also be that nuisance that is hard to deal with. And Mad Lions respond in kind with their mid lane pick here in the Victor, a pick that has seen a couple of picks here and there across the LEC and LCS. Very good champion. Obviously you are focusing on your Hex cores early game, building them up so you get empowered augmented abilities. Obviously very unique in that, as you're one of the only few champions that does get that ability to augment your abilities to make them a lot more powerful. It's a strong champion, very good control. Obviously you put your magnetic field down if you people get stuck in it for so long, they get stunned and pulled to the middle, you just ult on top of them, deal tons of burst, and it's very, very good. Obviously if we look at that Rogue team, bar say the Trist, it's very low mobility and could be quite easy to burst out. But anyway, that's going to be it for the draft. Let's jump into today's team fight that we're breaking down for you. So, this play takes around the 4th spawning Drake of the game, where Mad Lions are looking to gather their 3rd Drake while they're down 12 kills and 5k gold. Now, Rogue see all of the Mad Lions members enter into the river and see them also heading towards the Drake pit via this nice little control ward they have in the middle brush. Mad really should not be in this position. However, they do manage to burst out the Drake really quick. However, they don't manage to kill it, and it make it really easy for Rogue to actually turn and fight on them by creating this straight line defense that is so open that all their carries are easy to dive onto. Rogue tried to focus out Mad Lions' jungler, who dodges out of the Sigil and tries to body slam and smite Trist, who's overstepping a little, pressurizing the top laner of Mad. Once Gragas body slams forward, he becomes central priority for Rogue's damage. That being said, he does manage to pop his stopwatch at this time, and Rogue's focus has to change. Now, Nautilus does a very clever thing here. While Gragas is in status, he launches his depth charge onto the Aphelios so that it cannot apply that burst damage or CC or AoE damage to the Rogue team, allowing the Gragas to escape. So once the Gragas essentially comes out, he is now dead to rights and does die. Once Gragas dies, Mad have no real reason to be around this Drake pit, and they have to flee in this situation. Set flashes forward onto the Aphelios and face breakers in attempt to catch the Aphelios and bring it close to execute him off in that point, but Aphelios in response flashes away just before the face breaker hits, and instead of face breaking the Aphelios, the Set goes face breaking into the Braum and smashes him down to the ground, killing off the 2nd member of Mad. while Zed is literally just smashing everyone's face in and punching anything that comes in his way, Trist is creating her own little unique play. Now she jumps over the river wall behind where the victor is fleeing to, and because she's in this position, she's able to push him back with her ultimate to essentially give a very easy kill over to her team. And in conjunction to this pushback, Syndra launches her Scatter of the Weak, and then the Orbs of Death land on top of the victor, killing him off, and the resets come in for Trist. Using her rocket jump, she is able to jump close enough to Renekton that he is unable to attack her, and she has enough range to play with her rapid fire. She's able to stack up enough damage to execute off the Renekton as he comes in to try and murder the Trist with the built up fury that he has gotten. However, it isn't enough, and another reset comes in for Trist. With this reset, she is able to jump into the last member of Mad, who has been pushed up by the set towards her in this far bottom lane, and using this, Syndra locks her up, knocking her in the air with the Scatter of the Weak, and Triss can now just immediately come in to sweep her up, killing off the Aphelios and scoring an ace for Rogue here, allowing them an easy Drake that they secured during the fight, as well as push towards Baron and the game. Now, when we came into this game, everyone knew this game would be close because of how the teams are currently positioned in the league, as well as the fact that neither team know how to give up, and that made this game so interesting to me, as Rogue had control of the gold and the kills all game. However, Mad had control of the objectives. Like, they were able to pick up 2 Drakes for free, essentially. Whereas Rogue didn't really prioritize Drakes or really the Rift as much as what Mad did. And that kind of gave a hope to Mad in terms of a win point. And the fact that they knew they had to go for these objectives in order to stay relevant in the game, to build up to late game where that Renekton can deal with, say, a Triss or any champion in a 1v1, and the Victor, obviously, who's had to waste so much gold on them Hex cores, for him to actually be able to buy a few items, it's kind of key that they stay and try and fight for these Drakes and Barons and things that as and when they spawn, and this kind of killed them in a sense, because having this only 1 win point kind of gave them less of a chance of winning, because Rogue were controlling a lot more different things in terms of pressure, and in a sense they won off these different pressure points that were not being pushed too well by Mad. That being said, it was still a very interesting game. Even if it did finish quite quick, I still feel this was probably one of the best matches of this weekend, even after watching TSM absolutely dismantle FlyQuest and C9 in the same week. Yeah, I've got a lot to talk about in the LCS predictions video coming up this week, and I'm absolutely stoked for it. But anyway, that's going to be it for this Anarchy analysis. There should be another one coming out on Tuesday. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new here if you want to, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.